What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Zero to Diamond podcast. I'm your host, Ricky Carruth. I'm on a mission to help reduce the failure rate in the real estate industry by helping you master your skills on the phone, conquer your fears, and changing your mindset. Now let's get into the show. What's up, guys? What's happening? Hope you guys are doing all right. Welcome to this week's show. I want to wear my toboggan for this. It's cold outside on the beach. So anyway, I'm just here at the office today. Again, I don't have a guest this week. I've got a guest for the next 2 weeks in a row. Really 3 weeks in a row. So, that'll be good. So this week I was just going to come from my phone here at the office and just bring people on the show that are watching and kind of just interview some people who are going to watch the show. So I'm just going to hang out for a bit here. I'm just getting some work done, actually. Do it like this. And yeah. Wait for some people to show up. Then I'm going to try to bring some people on. Hope everybody's doing well. First week of 2018, guys. This is, it's really going down. What's up, Pettigay? Let me see. I can't bring you on. You must be doing it from your computer. So, Pettigay, tell me how the first week of 2018 is going for you. Let's see. Boot. Let's see. Here we go. No, that's not. Basically, the end of 2017, as you guys know, anybody following me knows that it was an absolute banger going through, finishing out the new year. And 2018 is starting out super strong. I've already closed out some properties. Let's see. Let me bring Joe on. Just going to be trying to bring people on the show this week. Get some feedback from some of you guys. Let's see if Joe will come on. You have to turn your phone sideways for it to work. Let's see, here we go. Take my toboggan off so you guys can see me. All right, Joe's not coming on. All right, guys, listen. Here, I'm just going to break down right now. Let's go ahead and I'm just going to give you guys real quick my 4 keys to long-term success. All right? And these 4 keys to long-term success are broken down as such. Like, if you're not as successful as you want to be, or successful at all, I can have a 5 or 10 minute conversation with you and tell you exactly which of these 4 key factors you're lacking in. All right? The first one is you got to believe. You got to believe that you can achieve what you're trying to achieve. If you don't believe it, then you're not going to do it, right? The second thing is you have to work hard, right? That kind of goes hand in hand, because when you believe 100%, then you automatically start taking the actions necessary, which is working hard to accomplish it. Like, if you believe so hard that you're going to achieve what you're trying to achieve, and you believe it and you're 100% committed, then what happens is, in your mind, it's already accomplished. And so you automatically start taking the actions. It's like, in your mind, it's already done. So now you're just going through the motions of the actions necessary to actually get there. And part of that is working hard. Like, that's the next part. Yeah, Joe. So anyway, like, you got to believe first, and then you got to work hard behind believing. You got to put hard work behind the belief, right? The third thing is, as you're believing and working hard, you got to adapt. You have to adapt, right? What's up, Richard? I'm going to bring you on the show in a minute, maybe if you're still on here in a minute when I get through these 4 keys of long-term success. All right, adapting is you got to quit doing the same thing over and over again, expecting something different to happen. Try new things, figure out what works, figure out what doesn't work as quickly as you can, and move on. And then when you find something that works, really make it happen. Like really put everything you got into something that you know works because you've experienced it and you know that it has the results behind it that you're looking for. So you have to adapt. You have to learn that negative emotions are a waste of time. You have to learn that losing deals are a part of this business. You have to learn that positivity is the key in any situation. Like even when something bad happens, there's always a positive thing to come out of it. Every single time, there's more positive in everything that happens than negative. It's like when you lose a deal, I've said it many times, you gain that future time back. You don't have to spend on that deal anymore. You have that future time back, and you also gain knowledge from losing the deal. Like you learn something from losing that deal. Now you can take that new knowledge and that new future time and go get 5 more deals. Like you have to adapt in terms of realizing that people have survived real estate and not only survived, but there's people that really make it big. And if they can do it, you can do it, right? So then you start paying attention to the people who are really doing it and really try to figure out what works and what doesn't work. It's called adapting. You have to adapt. So you got to work hard. You got to adapt, right? You got to believe, you got to work hard, got to adapt, and you got to be patient. What's up, Jason? So, you know, a lot of people believe, even few of those people work hard. Out of the people that believe and work hard, fewer of those adapt. And out of the people who believe, work hard, and adapt, even fewer of those are patient. So at the end of the day, it takes a complete package, right? A complete person to be fully successful long term and be able to survive market crashes, right? And be able to not freak out when deals are lost, not freak out when, you know, things don't go exactly the way you want it to. If a contract gets extended for 2 weeks or something like that, right? It's not the end of the world. You call your seller and you explain to them the situation. It's not your fault that the deal fell through or that the deal, you know, got postponed or drug out. I mean, it's not your fault, right? It's your job to explain it to your client as smoothly as you can. Like as you know, it's your job to smooth it over, right? And you just have to, like, the way that you smooth things over is being calm yourself. When you're calm about a bad situation, then your seller and your client, they pick up on that and they give it right back to you because in their mind, you know, like if you're calm, then they're going to be calm. If you're freaking out about something and saying how bad it is and how you're sorry and all this stuff, yeah, they're going to be upset because you're saying you're sorry. What are you sorry for? I don't know. It's not my fault. Why are you saying you're sorry? I don't know. So understand the like problems that happen in deals is not your fault and that you got to stay calm for your client's sake. When you're calm in bad situations, that's what's going to help your client. That's what's going to prove to your client that you are worth, you know, continuing to work with. Like they're going to value you more when you handle bad situations calmly, if you understand what I'm saying. So it's a big, big deal to understand what I'm saying about that negative emotions are a waste of time and that bad things are going to happen in real estate. I have to make bad calls all the time. You know, I have to make calls that are uncomfortable constantly. And you stay calm, you smooth it over. I had a situation here recently where there was some big assessments on a condo that we weren't aware of, and we're closing this week. And, you know, I was a little worried. You know, it was a $7,000 assessment. I was a little worried that the buyer would be upset. So I got to be honest with you. I was kind of worried about it. So I call the buyer and I didn't even tell him about it at first. I just started talking about the closing and the walkthrough and the rentals. And then at the very end, I kind of slid it in there that, hey, also, there's this assessment we just found out about, and I'm trying to find out more information on it, but it's going to be like 3,000 in March, another 3,000 later in the year, and I think it's to redo some handrails and stuff. I'm not real sure, but I'm trying to find out for you, and I'll let you know as soon as I find out. And he was like fine with it, like didn't even like blink an eye. He was totally fine with it. So a lot of times when you have bad stuff going on or uncomfortable conversations coming up that you have to make phone calls for and call sellers and buyers and tell them something you don't want to tell them, I think that a lot of us assume what's going to happen. You assume that it's going to be a bad call, or you assume that they're going to take it badly, and then next thing you know, whenever you call them after the end of the call, you realize, hey, they were perfectly fine with this, and we worked through it, and everything's cool. So a lot of it's in your mind, and you just can't let your mind beat you as far as making yourself think that something bad's going to come out of this, right? So I kind of went on a tangent about that. I do want to say after this public, podcast that I'm doing right now with you guys, I'm going to switch over to the coaching group, and we're going to do our coaching call. So I'll be here for another 45 minutes. Then I'm going to switch over to the private call. Let's see. I'm going to bring old Dougie on here. No, Dougie's from his computer. What's up, Dougie? Dougie says, swallow your biggest frog first. Dougie says, swallow your big frog first. Don't procrastinate and try to avoid it. Yeah, see, here's the thing that Doug's talking about. There's a book that Brian Tracy wrote called Eat That Frog or something like that. And what it means is, like, whatever's the toughest decision, like whatever's the hardest that you're fearing the most that day, that's what you should do first. Right? That's what you just should do first, is handle that situation. So when you handle that situation that you fear the most first, then everything else is easy. You'll just knock it out. But if you avoid the tough stuff and do it last, it just builds up on you. It builds and builds and builds, and then you just continue procrastinating, continue procrastinating. So Doug's right. You need to do what's the toughest in the beginning part of the day, and then everything else after. Let me see who I can bring on this call. Let's see. Pettigay says, I'm doing pretty good. I have 2 listing appointments this week. It's snowing here today, so I'm dealing with work and the kids. She's doing the Ricky Carruth 1,000 call challenge in a week, and she's done 962 of those calls so far. I'm set to jump up and down tomorrow when I hit it. Good job, Pettigay. What Pettigay's talking about is the Ricky Carruth 1,000 call challenge. That is the first part of the coaching program. You make 1,000 calls in your first week. I tell you exactly what to do, what to say, how to make 1,000 calls, and what the goal is. The goal is not to do a deal. You're going to run into deals. Like she says, she has 2 listing appointments, but that's not the overall goal. The overall goal is to create lifelong relationships with property owners. Like, the goal is not a transaction. The goal is not to set an appointment, right? We want to set the appointments with the people who are ready to do stuff. Well, we see that opportunity, we're going to take it, of course. That's what we're here for. We're here to do a deal today. But we're not here necessarily to do a deal today if they're not ready to do a deal, but we want to capture them for future deals. See, here's the problem. Most agents live off less than 5%, really less than 1% of people that they talk to that want to do a deal right now. And they don't even continue on with people who aren't motivated to do something today. Which is sad, because where all the money's at are the people that you talk to that aren't ready to do anything today, that actually like you enough to do a deal, later with you. Let me make sure my live is working. You guys let me know, make sure that everything's working. Let's see. Okay, cool. Looks like it is working. So anyway, let's try to bring somebody on the call here. Let's see. I'll bring Colin on. See if Colin is to where he can come on with us. I'm at my office doing this from my phone, and the internet is super sketchy, so that's why I was saying that. Guys, listen, where all the money is at in real estate.
Oh,
What's up, man?
what's going on, buddy? What you up to?
Just doing this show, man.
You ready for this weekend?
Oh yeah, I'm super excited.
Anything going on exciting down on the coast?
Not really, man. Early January is kind of kind of the dead month around here.
Yeah, we're rock and rolling up here. We had a couple closes that got pushed back, so I had one yesterday and one today. So happy people all around.
Dude, as far as real estate goes, it's on fire right now. We're like today, I went through all my lists of people that wanted to like do something this year, that said call me after the first. So I've been going through that, and I've set up I don't know how many appointments for like between now and spring. I've got so many appointments of people coming down to look at stuff and buy stuff and sell stuff. It's crazy.
That's the
Um,
easiest follow-up call. Like, man, you told me to call after
yeah,
the New Year's.
yeah.
Just doing what I'm gonna do.
Hey, hey, is there a favorite restaurant you got down here?
Not really, man. I've spent a lot of time in Destin, but not in Orange Beach, so
All
we're gonna
right.
have to make a call. You can invite some folks. We're gonna get a crowd out there.
Yeah, yeah. I'll post something in the group after the coaching call today, and I'll pick a place out and see if anybody wants to meet up there and stuff. So yeah, we'll hang out tomorrow night.
All right. Well, cool deal. We'll get some
So
other
what
folks on everything you do.
so real quick, man, just so everybody knows watching, Colin is 2 years in the business.
I just finished my third full year.
Okay.
So I had 2 months that year before, but really 3 full years in.
Yeah. So how many deals did you do in 17?
60.5 sides last year, so 60
Holy
deals.
smokes, dude.
Yeah,
How,
I killed it, man.
what's your what's your average price?
Tragically, the average ML in the MLS here is about 140 in our market. I did about
Yeah.
120. No foreclosures, no condos, nothing, just straight sales. Only
Yeah.
one lot there, so it was all sales. And we don't have a lot of new construction. We're near Starkville, Mississippi, about 20 minutes away. So it's fairly rural. We got about 30, 40,000 people in our town, 100,000 in our MLS, essentially 100,000 houses.
So what's the population? 100,000?
About 100,000 we have 3 cities in the Golden Triangle where we
Yeah.
are. And Mississippi State, like Starkville, is about 20 minutes away, so it's part of it.
Yeah. That's actually a long way away from us in Orange Beach.
Yeah, but I wanted to make the ride down there this week to show some support for you, man.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate that. We went to Starkville one time. I had a jiu-jitsu thing there, so we rode up there. I had no idea that it was so far away, bro.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I'm originally from New Orleans, so it's still culture
Yeah.
shock. I've been out 10 years, but
And
we
then
love it.
when we got there, I was like, "Oh, that's cool, man. It's going to be a college town. Mississippi State's there and stuff." And we got there and we were like, "What in the hell is going on, dude? That place is crazy, man. It's desolate."
Yeah. Now it's gotten better. The last 5 years, it's had a whole bunch of condo development up here in Starkville. So over there at Starkville, the average is about 200,000 per side. It's about 150. And we're just 20 minutes away, but there aren't any agents working in both markets other than me. And if you wouldn't drive 20 minutes, your clients would leave you. But here, I'm raking it up. They can all sleep as far as I'm concerned.
Hey, what would you say your best lead generation is? Like what's your bread and butter?
Well, when I started out of the gate, I got real good on expireds. I went back 2 or 3 years. So I had 25 listings in my first few months. And I still do that because some of the times that money's just laying on the ground. We don't see as many as we used to. But now it's usually the calls. You know, when I'm making the calls and I make them early, usually by 10:30 or 11, I'll go out on the town, shake babies and kiss hands, meet as many people as I can, because I wasn't born and raised here, you know. But if they see you
Yeah.
working and they hear you working, even if you don't get the business that day, you start a relationship like you're always preaching, and you'll get them one day.
I'm telling you, dude, like people are drawn to hardworking people. If you work hard and people see your car at the office every day and like they see you doing stuff, they're getting emails, phone calls, postcards, they see you on Facebook, like people are drawn to hard workers, man, believe me.
Absolutely, I get
So,
people every week who say, "Man, I see you on Facebook, or I see your car at work every morning, and still there at 5 o'clock, and it helps."
yeah. Do you when you making your calls, are you calling just circle prospecting?
It's probably 30% circle prospecting, and then a lot of just listed, just sold.
Like, what do you mean just listed, just sold? Neighborhoods?
If any, yeah, neighborhoods, any house sells, I don't care who sold it. I'm still
Yeah.
calling. You know, say, by
That
the way, you know, the one down the road just sold, and nobody, maybe 1% of people who I do talk to ask if I sold it. They just want to know that it
they
sold.
well, that's circle prospecting.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you know, I have to think of circle prospect and circle of influence. You know, um,
Oh, I got you. I got you. I got you. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, circle prospecting is actually the just listed and just solds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then when you call your sphere of influence, that's the sphere of influence.
Yeah. I think I keep running into you know, Buffini mixes them up too and flips them around from what Tracy does. I don't have any other program I subscribe to other than hard work and keeping
Yeah.
track of Ricky.
Well, dude, I'm glad you're doing well, man. You've done really well, man, for the first 3 year realtor for sure.
Well, I appreciate all your inspiration. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Okay, thanks, buddy. Later. So that was Colin there, man. 3 years in the business. He did 68 and a half transactions in 2017. And basically, he said he does it from just working hard and people being drawn to him from working hard. And he said 30% of his calls are sphere of influence. The other 70% is circle prospecting around just listed and just sold. And if you heard what he said, it doesn't matter if he sold it. And this is something I preach anyway. It doesn't matter who sold it. You can call people and say, hey, something just sold. Is there anything I can do for you? They don't really care that you sold it, man. People don't care what you sold, that you're number one. They don't care what your logo looks like. They don't care they don't care about a lot of stuff. I don't have a Zillow. Like, I have 2 reviews on Zillow, one good, one bad. I don't go on there. I haven't had a single client say, why aren't you on Zillow? Why are I haven't had anybody say the Zillow thing's really hurting you. So nobody cares about all that. Nobody really cares about reviews. I mean, people might look you up and see if you have reviews, and that might sway people one way or another. But at the end of the day, they want to see that you work hard, that you're dependable, that you're comfortable, right? And that you make them feel comfortable that you're going to take care of this, one of the largest decisions, the largest investments of their life. So that's really all people care about is, do they like you? Do you make them feel comfortable? Do they know you're going to work hard? Are you going to be dependable? And are you going to get the job done? Let's see. Doug, I can't get him on. Let's see. Hard work wins every time. Tony says hard work wins every time. It does, man. Hard work beats talent, right? But there's another side of that. That only goes so far. You also have to adapt. You have to work smart and hard at the same time if you really want to go to another level. I think it's okay to be 60% hard work, 40% work smart. I definitely don't want to be 60% work smart, 40% work hard. I definitely want to be more of a hard worker, but I definitely want to value adapting and learning and getting better and better because That's part of the puzzle, man, that a lot of people miss. They keep doing the same thing over and over again, right? So you have to adopt other people's strategies, figure out what works for you the best, and then once you do, we're going to crush that. Sharon, I've been circle prospecting around both as well. The calls is becoming addictive. So here's the thing, guys. If you're scared to make calls and you adopt the way that I make calls, which is very low pressure, and we're not trying to sell anybody anything, we're just trying to see what we can do to help them. The calls become addictive because people are so receptive to that. And you gain so many new clients, so many deals from being like that, that it becomes so addictive. It's so addictive when you make calls and people actually are glad to hear from you and want to work with you and give you their contact information and tell you they want you to stay in touch with them. That's very addictive to hear when you know that you're heading in the right direction. You know that you're building a business for the future. You know that you're going to run into deals now and build a strong business for the future. You know all this. So, yeah, it becomes very addictive once you dive in and hit that stage of, okay, I'm done being scared of calls. Now I just need to know what to say. Then when you find out what to say, it's like, okay, how do I read people? Right? How do I make what I need to say sound like a real conversation every single time? Once you hit that, it's like the next level. Okay, how can I spot opportunities even when they're not telling me they want to buy or sell, but they really do? It's just a different stage. You can't get stuck in a stage. You can't get stuck in the fear stage where you're just scared to make calls. You're never going to make it anywhere. You have to break through each stage. I'm scared. I'm going to make them. I'm going to get through that. Okay, now I'm through that. I'm not as scared. Now what do I say? Okay, now I figured out what to say. Okay, cool. Now how do I say it? Right, now I know how to say it. Now how do I read people? I know how to read people. Now how do I spot opportunities when they're not really telling us they want to do something, but they really do? How do I smooth things over, right, that seem like a bad situation that I'm really kind of worried to tell my client about? So all these things are stages that every single agent goes through, no matter where you are, how awesome you are. Like, I'm at the top of my market, which is not much compared to other markets, but I'm doing very well, okay? But the fact is, I was scared to make calls, and then I found out that I wasn't. Then I found out what to say. Then I found out how to say it. Then I found out how to read people. It's stages that everybody has to go through. So if you're at the bottom and you're trying to figure out how to get to the top, and you want to go around all these stages, you're trying to figure out a way around all these stages, what gives you the right to not have to go through the same stages as the people that are on the top had to go through, right? What affords you the luxury of not having to go through years of grinding and building a database full of real people, right, to get to where you need to be, just like the guys on top did? So it's really hard in today's world with all the shiny pennies out there, and this is what's going to make you rich and all this stuff. It's really hard for new agents to know what's right and what's wrong and what's good and what's bad. But at the end of the day, what you need to know is that closings happen every day. Conversations are the key to all closings. Property owners are the highest quality prospects because they're not only sellers, but they're your best buyers, and that there's an unlimited supply of them in your market for you, right? There's an unlimited amount of people, property owners in your market, unlimited, which means more than you can handle. There's an unlimited amount of property owners in your area that will work with you forever and be loyal clients. The only problem is you're too scared to make the calls to meet these people, to put the pieces in place to build a database full of them to where you actually have a big, huge, sustainable business where you can survive market crashes and you can, make $1 million and you can do the things you want to do and help the people you want to help. It's all about helping people. You help people buy and sell property, then you make money. Then you take that money and you help more people outside of real estate. It's like me. I've made the money in real estate. Now I'm helping you guys try to learn how to maneuver through being a new agent or being an agent who wants to, get to another level. I'm trying to help you and inspire you to reach your full potential, right? What's your full potential? Nobody knows because you haven't done it yet. You can say you want to do this, or you want to do that, but until you've actually done it, you don't know what you're capable of. You may have a goal, and then you may work hard. You may overshoot the goal. You may hit the goal exactly, or you may fall short. You don't know what your full potential is, right? So how do you hit your full potential? You have to overwhelm yourself with business, make more phone calls than you can handle, and have so much going on you can't handle it. Figure out where your breaking point is, and then throttle back to stay right at your breaking point at all times, and that's how you reach your full potential. You have to be super efficient. Like, efficiency is the key. And part of being efficient is adapting. Like I said earlier, you have to know what works. You have to figure out what works, what doesn't work, and eliminate the things that look like they work, but at the end of the day, they don't work. Tony says, lead generation makes you rich. Lead follow makes you wealthy. I like that. That's a good one. That's a really good one. Lead generation makes you rich. Lead follow up makes you wealthy. That's interesting. I think about it like this, Tony. The follow up is important, but if you have a system that can follow up for you, right? Then and you can spend your time lead generating to get more people into your sphere that your system will follow up with automatically, and it's not automatic. I spend several hours a week following up with my database on a weekly basis, right? But I can reach out to all more than 10,000 of them within that hour or two each week, right? And I create a personal message that explains everything going on with the market and everything going on with me, and it keeps everybody in tune with everything. And then I can spend the rest of the week lead generating and trying to pick up more clients. Close that door for me. So I think that there's this age-old debate against lead generation versus conversion and follow-up, and I think they're both important. You have to find the balance, right? But you cannot do just one or the other, right? You can lead generate and not lead follow-up, and you can do okay. But when you combine both of them and you find the perfect balance for you that works to where you're continuously building your database with new people while maintaining the old relationships that you've built, then you really got something. Let's see, Richard's got a question for me here. He says, what do you use to manage everything? How do you manage your projects? How do you manage your day, your calls, time blocking, social media posts, advertising, finances, phone calls? There's just so much going on. Are there any tools apart from calendar that help you? He names a couple of apps. A busy guy like you must have some tools you leverage. I got to take a deep breath on this one, Richard. I think we've been here before on this question. Here it is, man. Here it is. It's a notebook, man. Everything I got is right here in front of me. Here's all my buyers and sellers I'm working on. I got one column for buyers, one column for sellers. Here's what I got. Here's my projects. Here's my Zero to Diamond projects. Here's my YouTube projects. Here's my real estate projects. And here's what I'm negotiating right now. Right? And then, of course, this book is a calendar, right, that keeps up with all my appointments. So I'll be honest with you, man. Here's the thing. I don't have a CRM, like, everybody knows that. And it's not a knock on CRMs. I think CRMs are great. I think what it is I don't use one because I got in real estate and then before CRMs really got big, and then now that they're around, I just never jumped on the train. I've looked at a lot of them. I've really researched a lot of them, and I've really, thought about it a couple of times. I've thought about Realty Juggler, thought about Top Producer. I've really thought about it, and I just never did it. I feel like if something's not broke, you don't fix it. If I really thought that it would take me to another level, then sure. But here's the thing. If you have as much as you can handle on your plate at all times, then you can't handle anymore, right? If I can handle unlimited amounts of stuff, which you can't because you only have 24 hours in a day and you got to sleep. So if I could handle unlimited amounts of things, then sure, I would get every app out there and I would have everything out there going bing bong bong, notifying people all across the country, and I would have all this stuff happening. But you can't handle everything. If you could handle every single thing, there would be an agent out there doing all the deals, and we wouldn't even have a job if somebody could do it all. Let's see. So just to answer your question, Richard, before I get into the next question, I don't have anything. It's literally, I write it down and I think about it all day. Like, this is my life, guys. There's nothing else going on other than the wind blowing and me going kite surfing or spending time with my wife or going on some vacation that there's not even one planned right now. Coaching and selling properties, that's it for me. That's what I do from sun up to sundown. I work out, so it's always on my mind, and I have everything right in front of me written down. When you write stuff down, it goes into your brain a little differently than if you type it in or if it's something automated. I really value writing stuff down. It really makes you think about it harder when you write it down. Okay? Let's see. Javier. What's up, Javier? Hope you're doing well, friend. He says, if you move to a new city and knew no one, how would you approach the new market? Excellent question, man. I like this one. I like this one because I've actually thought about doing this before. I've actually thought about moving to like LA or New York or Miami. I really thought about it several times. So here's the thing, and I'm gonna screenshot this. There we go. So if I were to move to a new city and knew no one, how would I approach the market? So here's how I would approach the market. Let's see. Hold on a second. Okay, cool. First thing I would do is I would study MLS, right? I would try to study it for a little while, and let's see. Hey, Andy, this is not the coaching call. This is the public podcast show. The coaching call is at 5 o'clock. So yeah, at 5 o'clock, I'm going to switch over from this to the coaching call. So I'll go live on the Facebook private, coaching group, and you'll be able to call in then. Okay, you're a little early for that. So back to Javier's question. If I knew no one, I was in a new city, how would I approach the market? I would study the MLS. I would try to figure out what properties you're selling. I would try to figure out the market per se, like a general kind of market about it, right? I wouldn't study too long. It would just be like a general study. I just want to get an idea of what's going on. I don't want to spend all my time studying, right? Then I would start figuring out who the big realtors are in the area, and I would start calling them. I would call, depending on how big the area is, I'm going to call realtors first. I'm going to start calling realtors. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm going to let them know I'm new in the area. I'm going to let them know that, I don't know if you're talking about like if I'm me and I'm real successful here and then I go somewhere else, I can tell the new realtors, hey, I was real successful wherever. I'm new here. I'm getting my feet wet in the market. How's it going? Or if I'm just a brand new agent altogether. Either way it goes, I'm going to call all the agents around there. If I have experience, I'm going to call the agents and get to know them. Maybe take them to lunch, see if they want to eat lunch, and really try to build a name for myself with the local agents, at least to some extent. Then, after I get a handle on what's going on with the market, what all the other agents are saying, I'm going to start circle prospecting immediately. I'm going to pick out a subdivision or condo. I'm going to find some sales, figure out what the market's doing. I'm going to start calling owners and saying, hey, Ricky Carruth at whatever realty, a house down the road sold. Is there anything I could do for you? That's not exactly the phone script, but there's a lot more to it. But that's what I would do. And I would call, if I were new, that means I don't have anything going on, then I would call maybe 300 people a day, right? Something like that. And I would do that for a long, long time until I built a database full of people that knew me, liked me, trusted me. And by the time you build a database of say 100 people, you've already done a good 5-10 deals. You already have a good 5 or 10 deals in the works. So then you just build another 100, probably do another 5 or 10 deals. By the time you get 300 in there, you've probably done 5 or 10 more, and now you're probably getting some repeat business or some people that you talked to before that are ready to do stuff now, and it's just you start to build momentum. Momentum is the number one thing in real estate. Once you get it going, you just got to keep pushing. And if you let up, it's hard to get it going again once it stops. So, I learned that a long time ago, and I just keep pushing. That's what I did today. I called every single one of these people, right? And I still have more people I need to call. This is a list of people who said to call them back after the first of the year, buyers and sellers. So that's what I've been doing today, and it's been great. I've set up so many appointments for between now and March of people that are going to come down, look at property, or want me to look at their property to list it. I'm just sitting here setting stuff up. Now, they told me to call them back after the first of the year. If I were not to have done that, if I just would have let them go, maybe they would have called me back, maybe not, But I'm going to keep pushing because I want that momentum. I want to keep that momentum going. They know me, they like me, they trust me, they want to hear from me, right? So I hope that answers your question, man. Sharon says she agrees with writing stuff down. Okay, Richard. So if you were to create a spreadsheet, what key metrics would you record? Calls, closings, appointments. You're welcome, Javier. Calls, closing appointments, conversions. What else do you think we should track? Richard, listen, I'm a little different when it comes to this. I don't know if you'll like this answer or not. I really don't know if you'll like this or not. I don't track anything. I don't keep up with closings. The only way I know what closings I have is because the only way I know what closings I have is because I look on MLS and count them, or Christy tells me. I don't know how many calls I make. I don't know how many appointments. I don't know how many conversions. I don't track anything. Here's the thing. If you spend all your time trying to track everything and trying to keep everything organized, you're taking so much time away from building your business. I call. I make a good impression. They feel comfortable with me. I establish a relationship, and then they go in my database. They start getting my emails, and they call me when they get ready. I can forget about them at that point. I don't have to worry about them anymore. They'll call me when they get ready. And so what happens is I can spend all my time just calling more people, trying to build more and more people into my database, And after I get them in my database, I don't have to worry about them anymore. They're in my database. They'll call me when they get ready. Now, if I run into a person who wants to do a deal in the near future, they're going to go on my list. They're going to go on my list, and I'm going to follow up with them. I'm going to write their name down, and I'm going to follow up with them. But I don't know how many calls I made. I don't know how many closings I got. I don't know how many appointments. I don't know how many conversions. I think all that's useless. What are you going to do with it? It doesn't matter. I think a lot of people are doing so much stuff that doesn't matter. It's clogging up their brain. Like, all that matters is maintaining new and old relationships with property owners. That's all that matters. Creating and maintaining relationships with property owners. How do you do that if you don't keep track? You have an email that goes out that keeps them engaged with you while you can continue to get more. And if you run into somebody that wants to do something, write their name down and follow up with them. Otherwise, let them call you back when they get ready. And if they don't ever call you back, you can't help that. You know, your system didn't work for them. But if you fill your cup up and you have more than you can handle at all times, what does it matter? There's some people really worried about me teaching local agents how to sell properties, thinking it's really going to hurt our business. Business is unlimited. Business is unlimited. It's all predicated on how much work you put in. So if I teach local agents how to sell real estate and they go out there and they get listings maybe I should have got, that's fine, right? Because if I'm still working towards getting listings and I'm still working towards keeping my cup full and I'm at my breaking point at all times, what does it matter? I'm going to make more money. I'll make more money every year, regardless if some Ricky Carruth comes through, another clone of me comes into the market and starts taking storm. There's already Ricky Carruths in this market. There's already people that do very well in the market. Okay? I haven't lost anything. I continue to make more money. Hey, what's up, Natasha? Hey, Ricky, I have 3 deals going on right now and sometimes get extremely busy. How do you manage your time to be able to prospect for new business? Listen to me. When you get something under contract, forget about it. That deal's done. There's no need to worry about that transaction anymore. And if you do have to follow up with something on it, it only takes a matter of minutes. I don't know what takes you 8 hours a day, 5 days a week on 3 deals. I don't know, like what's taking up your time. I don't know. I've never got this. I've never understood this with agents, how they get a couple things under contract and that's all they can handle. I've never really got that because when I go under contract, I'm done. Yes, I'm going to follow up with them. Yes, I'm going to call the seller and let them know what's going on. I'm going to call the title company and see how the deal's going. I'm going to call the mortgage guy. But all those calls take a matter of minutes, not 8 hours or 10 hours, whatever you work. Following up with stuff that's under contract should take you very little time. And I think it really comes down to how much can you handle, because some people just let it build up in their head. Like it just takes up so much space. They have these deals going on and they just worry. They just worry about, are they doing everything right? Do they have everything, all the paperwork right? Do they have, are they missing something? They just sit around and worry about it. And really, at the end of the day, there's nothing to worry about. That deal is either going to close or it's not going to close. It's really out of your hands. It should take you a matter of minutes to follow up with somebody about stuff and let people know what's going on. Meanwhile, you can continue on your journey to call more people, build that database. I hope that answers your question, Natasha. Natasha is part of my coaching program. So Natasha, if we need to have a call and iron out some things on this, I'll be more than happy to do that. we're fixing to have our coaching call in 10 minutes for the coaching members. So I got about 5 more minutes here on the live for the Zero to Diamond group, and then I'm going to switch over. Javier says, do I have a custom email newsletter or just use generic MLS to send out? No, I customize a newsletter every week. I use Constant Contacts. I customize the newsletter, and I send it out to my database. It's a custom newsletter. See, here's the thing, guys. When I do this, it's a bulk deal, right? It goes out to over 10,000 people, but it has a personal touch. They know that it's bulk, but they feel a little bit of Ricky in that email because it has a little personal touch to it. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. Guys, this has been fun today. Doing it this way on my phone. I brought Colin on the show. I'm gonna hang out for another minute or so and then switch over to the coaching call. If you guys aren't members of the coaching group, this is I'm only doing this for 1 week. The one-time fee for $2.99 for lifetime membership. Just use the coupon code ZTD500 when you check out at zerotodiamond.com. If you're not a member, you can go sign up right now and get in on this call. If not, that's okay too. You can sign up later, but at the end of this week, Sunday at midnight, it's going to be shut down. We're going to go back to the old price. So take advantage of it. Become part of the coaching group. We have almost 130 or 40 agents in there right now, and it's an incredible group. It's growing like crazy. We're posting our results of our phone calls. Everybody, that's how we show accountability. And, you just get to learn the other side of real estate, which is low pressure, how to build relationships forever with property owners, and how to build a real business, not this for sale by owner, expired, high pressure training. That just doesn't work, because when you teach the masses to call for sale by owners and expires, then you have 30 or 40 people calling for the same for sale by owner and expire. What does that do? It doesn't create a good situation for real estate agents. It turns into a tough situation. But if you're in a small market and there's not a lot of agents there anyway, it might be good for you. Expireds and for sale by owners are fine. I love them for brand new agents. It gets them so much experience so fast. There's nothing that gets you better experience faster than for sale by owners and expireds. I think all new agents should do it. But once you do it, I think then, and you get a few deals under your belt and everything, I think it's time to really start building a real business, relationships for the long term, right? And understanding the real metrics of real estate and how to really build a long-term business, because I lost everything in the crash because I was thinking too short-term. All I cared about was the deal. Through that, I learned that you need to think long-term and about relationships. When you don't think about the deal and you concentrate more on relationships, deals come to you. People are drawn to you because you don't care about the deal. You're a hardworking guy or girl, and all you care about is relationships, and you care about the reason why they're wanting to buy or sell. Not the fact that they want to buy or sell, but why they want to buy or sell. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. I don't see any more questions. I'm going to switch over to the coaching call. I really appreciate y'all. Next week, we're going to have Chris Stager on the show. A super successful agent. I'll post all his stuff next week when I announce it. And then I've got some guests lined up for the next 2 weeks after that. So we're going to have some guests on the show for a while. So this is probably the last one that we'll do where it's just me and you guys. But I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed answering the questions. I'm speaking this Saturday at the Wharf in Orange Beach. If you guys are around the area, love to have you out. It's going to be realtors, title companies, insurance guys, mortgage guys, all walks of life for the real estate industry. And it's the Gulf Coast Real Estate Expo. And I'm the keynote. And I'm going to be talking about long-term success, short-term success mindset, and super excited to do that. So you guys have a good one. We'll talk to you soon. Reach out if you need anything at all. I'm available for you. Much love. Now go sell something.